All right, for those parents who are worried that their child's learning differences could potentially limit them in any way in life, we have a guest with us today who's living proof that kids can succeed despite learning disabilities. Here with us is Dr. Kara Sandar von Dressner, who's been diagnosed with dyslexia and dysgraphia and yet went on to graduate from Harvard with a doctorate in clinical psychology, and oh, by the way, is pursuing her MBA right now from Johns Hopkins starting in the fall. So congratulations to all of your success, and everybody watching at home can clearly see you're a grown-up.
Here I am.
But like all grown-ups, at one time, you were a kid.
Yes.
And you were a student with dyslexia and dysgraphia.
Challenging, especially when it hasn't been diagnosed.
Yeah, so now you've got this great perspective to kind of look back for kids now struggling in school and their parents who are noticing they're struggling in school and don't know why. With some real good advice for the parents, for the teachers about what things to look for and what will be most effective.
Okay, so for the parents and the teachers, most important thing is diagnosis. If you have a kid that has sloppy handwriting, that can't really concentrate, that doesn't remember the instructions, that doesn't remember what they just read, if there's a doubt in your mind, get them tested. Because then you know what you're working with. You know the kid isn't lazy, she actually is ADHD. And you can bring them to Chesapeake Bay Academy. We have an assessment program and it runs all summer.
Yeah, and it's part of the school, but a separate part of the school. It's not necessarily a commitment, it's not a service that's only available if you have enrolled in the school.
Right. Right.
They're an assessment tool for everybody,
for all of Hampton Roads, and especially the military. We're reaching out to the military right now.
And what will happen there? You know, if a military parent or other parent is saying, well, what will my kid do when they go for this assessment? What's going to happen?
So you'll come in and we'll give you a tour of the school, and then there'll be a consultation where a psychologist or a mental health professional talks with you and your child about their symptoms, about what you think is going wrong, about what you think is going right, and then we'll do some formal testing, hopefully. And after the formal testing, we'll be able to give you interventions. Maybe your child should be in a school where they have adaptations for this. You know, maybe your child should be in a school where they can use Kindles, or he can have extended time, or we'll just give you a whole list of interventions, and we go from there.
What would you say to those folks who get the diagnosis and the intervention, and maybe immediately, as soon as upon hearing the diagnosis, move that bar a little bit and say, oh, too bad they have dyslexia and dysgraphia, and maybe they'll be a great bricklayer, you know, instead of taking that super academic track. And all the reading and writing that you still had to do.
Sure. So I would tell them to call me because I can tell them that it's a different story. I'm dysgraphic and my handwriting is horrible, so I became a doctor, right? All doctors have horrible handwriting. I fit right in, nobody knows, right? And there are occupations that fit with all different characteristics. So what we have to do is make sure that we know your characteristics, your strengths, your weaknesses, and then match you up to a profession in which you will be successful.
And it can still be a profession that involves
lawyers,
reading,
doctors.
Sure. So don't close any doors.
No.
What went right for you? How were you able to be so successful? Because you said when you were younger, the diagnosis didn't happen right away.
Right. So what went right for me was the adaptations I used in the classroom. So when I read, I don't track very well, so I started using a ruler and just moving it line by line. I went to every class because I know that I can't get information out of books, but the teachers tell you the information in the classroom. I did lots of study groups so that we could split up the reading and then talk about it. So instead of reading 10 chapters, I could read 2. And everybody share that information. And I also chose a profession in which, like I said, you don't have to have legible handwriting, and it's based on interview. It's based on interpersonal skill and IP, intellectual property, and the ability to analyze situations. So.
Let's talk about self-esteem. I mean, once you started employing those strategies in the classroom, kind of found your niche, kind of realized that you had the gift for the interpersonal, what did that do to make you feel better, where maybe as a younger student you felt bad about some of those writing assignments, reading assignments?
My esteem was never very low, because I internalized the locus of control and decided that maybe reading wasn't my thing, and that I was going to be good at something else. But for the kids that don't do that, that is what I suggest. I suggest that they are diagnosed, we help them and treat them through this diagnosis, and we get them something else they're good at, so that they can have esteem. You know, and a lot of dyslexic kids are very social.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe they're good on the playground, maybe they're good at sports.
I'm glad that you mentioned the word a lot, because no family should feel isolated, like only your kid is having the struggle or only your family is dealing with this. Chesapeake Bay Academy will be hosting a summer learning program as well as that diagnostic assessment program all summer long. For more information, call CBA at 497-6200 or log on to cba-va.org.
And we have open houses every Monday in July from 9 to 11, so you can come on in and see us.
All right. Thank you very much for coming back.
Thank you. It was good seeing you again.
All right.